What is a funnel hacker? A funnel hacker, what does that even mean? So I'm gonna tell you guys a really quick history of this, okay? When we first launched ClickFunnels, I created a presentation. I gave it at an event because someone wanted me to teach what ClickFunnels was. And so I did a presentation, it was called Funnel Hacking. And this was the title, it said how to ethically steal over $1 million with the funnel hacks from your competitors for under $100. And this was the first time I introduced this concept of funnel hacking. And so I'm gonna give you like a 4-minute explanation of this so you can catch up for anybody else who don't know what funnel hacking is, or you're newer to our community, you just came in like, what is a funnel? I don't understand. I'm gonna explain this really quickly because this was the key that unlocked ClickFunnels, unlocked it for our customers and their growth, okay? So this is what funnel hacking is, okay? So the first thing you have to understand for funnel hacking to make sense, this is a quote from my friend Tony Robbins. He says, if you want to achieve success, all you have to do is find a way to model those who've already succeeded. Which makes sense, right? I started thinking back when I first heard this quote about the things in my life that I had been successful with, right? Like growing up, I was a great wrestler. And the reason why is because when I first started wrestling, I was really bad. And then I would go, there's a guy on my team named Matt Woods. And I would watch what he was doing. And I would study. My dad would film him. Then we'd go back to my house and we'd train and practice, right? And so we'd find people who were good. We'd model what they would do. And from that, I became a great wrestler, okay? I became a state champion. I took second place in the country. I wrestled in college, a Division I college. I was ranked in the top 10 in college. And it's not because I was a great athlete, but because we found people who were really good, we studied them, and then we modeled them, okay? So this is where success comes from. I know a lot of you guys are here today because you're modeling me. Like, what's Russell doing? Let me model what he's doing, okay? So that's the first step to understand with funnel hacking. Okay, the second step is this quote right here. It says, you can always tell who the pioneers are because they have arrows in their back and they're lying face down in the dirt, okay? I share this because for some reason, especially with entrepreneurs, we want to be so creative. And so like, you'll hear me say something, that's really cool, but I'm going to do it my way. And you'll build something completely different. It's no, you, look at what's working and then model that, right? And I remember the very first time I got this, I was in an event, it was a Dan Kennedy event. And I remember there was a guy named Porter Stansbury on stage. And Porter, at the time, he ran a company called Stansbury Research. It was part of the Agora division, which Agora, they're the biggest company in our space. They do about $1.5 billion a year selling financial newsletters. And Porter Stansbury ran the biggest division of the company. And he's on stage and he was showing us their funnels. He's like, here's our funnels and here's what it looks like. And I'm like a 22-year-old kid at the time, like taking notes. I'm like, this is amazing. And then he said something really fascinating. He said, a lot of people see how much money we're making at Agora and they come in and they try to compete with us. He's like, so they'll come in and they'll try to like undercut us on pricing and they try to run ads, but they can't be profitable. So then they'll come back and they'll try, we're doing this, they'll try to do a webinar, even though we're doing this, and it doesn't work. And they try 4 or 5 things and they go bankrupt. He's like, you have to understand, at Agora, we have 100 full-time copy editors. We got 100 people doing split tests every single day. He's like, there's no way you can outthink us. He's like, the only way to try to beat us is to copy us. And I was like, oh. And it was like that light bulb moment for me. I was like, think about this. Like Agora spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year testing a whole bunch of things. So how am I supposed to go compete against them, right? Right? But if I look at them and say, look, maybe they've tested, maybe they already have arrows in their backs, right? They've tried a whole bunch of things already. Instead of me trying to figure it out, what if I look at like, where are they at today and look at, oh, this is what they're doing today. Let me model that. Then I just bypassed all of the effort and the stress and the work and millions of dollars in testing because they've already proven it works in this market. I'm going to model it. Okay, so let me show you what happened when I first time I actually did this. So I launched a supplement company, and as most people do, I created supplements, and then I launched a website, right? And I launched it, and it made no money. I was like, websites aren't the thing. I wish I had a funnel. And so then I started looking, okay, well, who's got a funnel that's already successful selling supplements? How does this work? So I went out there. So the first step in funnel hacking is find someone who's successful that you can funnel hack, that you can model, right? So I went out there, and this was my product called Neurocell, and it was a supplement helping people with diabetic neuropathy, right? So I got out there, I started Googling diabetic neuropathy, and eventually I found this company right here called Neuropathy Support Formula. So I find the site, I did some research, I found out they were making pretty good money, and so I said, okay. I remember looking at the site, first off, I was like, oh, this site's ugly, it's purple, it's got it's just a big long letter. There's no pictures or images. And I was just like, there's no way this could be like, I feel like I could be more creative than this. I'm like, no, I don't know. These guys have got some arrows in the back. They're successful in this market to people with diabetic neuropathy. I'm just gonna I'm gonna trust that they know what they're doing. I'm gonna model them. Okay. So I made my version of the site. Okay. Now I want to triple emphasize, I said model, not copy, okay? When you copy someone, that's unethical, it's illegal, it's wrong, it's bad, okay? Modeling means you're looking at the look, the feel, the layout, the price points, right? And we're modeling that. So if you notice this, they had a logo in the top left-hand corner, I put a logo. They had a phone number in the right-hand corner, I put my phone number. They had a headline on theirs, I put a headline on mine. They had a picture of their bottle on theirs, I had a picture of their bottle on mine, okay? But I didn't steal their images, pictures, or copy. Like I rewrote it all for me, but I modeled the structure, the layout, the price points, and everything. So I did that, we launched it, and overnight, my neuropathy product went from making almost no money to being very, very successful, okay? So it was really, really good. And then as I was like, well, how do I grow this? How do I scale it? And so that moves me to step number 2, okay? I had to do what all good entrepreneurs have to become good at doing. I pulled my credit card out of my wallet and I bought their product. And the reason is I want to see what else are they doing, right? If you look at just someone's landing page, I know what's happening on the front end, but what's happening behind the business where all the revenue is being generated. Now, unfortunately for these guys right here in Neuropathy Support Formula, at the time, they had no upsells or downs, so it was just the product, that's it. What's funny is I actually funnel hacked them like 3 months ago, and they must have seen this presentation because they ripped off mine and now their whole upsell flow looks like mine. But anyway, that's a story for another day. They didn't have anything. So I'm like, there's gotta be someone who knows how to scale a supplement company who's successful. So I went out there and eventually I found this company right here. At the time, they were doing about $3 million a month. And I remember going to this page and it was like, oh, this is different. There's a headline, there's a video with a button. I was like, hey, let me funnel hack this. Let me see what this looks like. So I went to the first page, clicked on the order button, took me to page number 2. On this page was this weird order form. They offered 1, 3, or 4 bottles. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I did what every good entrepreneur has to become good at doing. I pulled my credit card out of my wallet and I bought the product. And then from there, it took me to an upsell where it upsold me 6 more bottles of the exact same supplement. And at first I was like, these guys are crazy. Do they think I'm a drug addict? I just bought 4 bottles. Upsell me 6 more, right? And Russell's marketing mind, I'm like, they're dumb. I do a way different upsell. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe they've got some arrows in their back. Maybe they've tested this, right? Like maybe they know something I don't know. So I took my skepticism, I hung it up on the wall. I'm like, I'm just gonna be a student here. And I'm gonna go through the rest of the funnel. I went through the rest of the funnel and these were the 5 pages, okay? These 5 pages for them at the time were doing about $3 million a month. I said, okay, now I have a business plan. I have a model. I have something that I can create from. So I'm back to the drawing board and I literally whiteboard. I said, okay, let me map it out. So the home page, I need a video, add to cart button. Second page, I need a order form with 1, 3, and 4 bottles. Upsell 1 is gonna be 6 more bottles. Upsell 2 is my next product. Upsell 3. And so I mapped it out. I said, okay, here is what I need to build. This is my business plan. In fact, if you ever want to pitch me on a business plan, I've had people give me this like 85-page business plan. I was like, this is my business plan. I'm like, no, if you can't doodle on a napkin and it doesn't look like this, I will never invest, right? Like this is a business model for me. So this was my business model going to this company. Then I go and I log into ClickFunnels and then I build in ClickFunnels. So I built my landing page. Again, notice I didn't copy anything, but I modeled the structure. So I had headline, video, add to cart button, modeled the order form, okay? 1, 3, and 4 bottles. Model the upsell, 6 more bottles, the same thing. Upsell number 2, upsell number 3, okay? So I modeled the look, the fill, the layout, the price points. Didn't copy any of the words, any of the images, just modeling, right? And from that, we launched it. And this business went from, making not that much money, and I'm not allowed to share income claims, but it went to the spot where it was generating insane amounts of money almost overnight by switching the funnel, okay? And my total investment to learn all of that was about $100. I had to pull my credit card out of my wallet, buy their product. I saw what the entire funnel was. Okay. So that's what funnel hacking is. That's where it came from. I shared that concept with people initially, and all of a sudden people got the light bulb like, oh my gosh, I can do anything I want, right? I want to do a book funnel. Let me just go buy Russell's 3 books, look at every single page in the book funnel. I'm going to model it. Oh, I want to do a webinar. Let me register for Russell's webinar, see how he does it, and then just model it. Oh, I want to do a high-tech application. Let me go find Russell's high-tech application, go through, and so people started just doing that and modeling stuff we were doing, modeling stuff that other people were doing. And it made it so success was almost inevitable. It became very, very easy as opposed to just guessing and hoping that somehow you'd figure out how to make the right thing. Okay. So that's what funnel hacking is. That's why people are so proud of being a funnel hacker. That's why we did Funnel Hacking Live, which is our big event. Like funnel hacking is the key. It's the secret. It's the shortcut.